We made you a website that has our presentations and all the mapping materials I'm going to be talking about. We'll put the URL in the chat so you can see it. I wanted to point out this embedded Google My Maps, which has information from Mark Junker's work as an example of what you can do when you want to map environmental and cultural data on the same map. We're going to be talking about two different platforms. One is the Google My Maps that I just showed you. And Google My Maps is a collaborative tool that you can build with other people. It also can be embedded in your website, and it's really easy for sharing with your community. But you might also want to have a tool for mapping that has much more functionality and that saves all your data to your laptop for added security. So we're going to be talking about Google Earth Pro mostly in this presentation. Google Earth Pro has to be downloaded to your computer. So if you're using a work computer, make sure that you have permission from your IT department. You can open many different file types in Google Earth Pro. For example, you can open ArcGIS shape files as well as CSV spreadsheet files. Mostly though, I want to talk about KML and KMZ map files because those are the easiest to handle. You have to save your map. Google Earth Pro does not autosave. Make sure that you have a backup like an external hard drive in case your computer crashes. If we want to map environmental impacts on this free, easy platform, we can go to a number of different government portals to download KML and KMZ files. For example, we can go to the BIA website and we can download tribal land files in KMZ and then open them in Google Earth Pro. So I've just created a layer in Google Earth Pro that shows me the BIA land files. I can go to EnviroMapper. I like to use EnviroMapper because it gives us access to a number of different EPA portals. I can search on tribes, I can search on programs such as brownfields, and I can download the KML. For example, if I go to the Sac and Fox Nation, to Mark's tribe, and I open up all the brownfield sites, I can download that file as KML, and then I can add them to Google Earth Pro. This is an example from Mark's work where he's put EPA data, he's put his own points, and he's put reservation boundaries and other data from the US Census Bureau and the BIA. Increasingly, we have to worry about climate change as well as our environmental sites. There's a number of websites that I have linked onto that web page that I showed you. These are from the National Weather Service. They allow you to download weather data in KML format. This is an example where I downloaded excessive rainfall potential forecasts from the National Weather Service website and opened them in Google Earth Pro as one of my mapping layers. I can also use the time slider in Google Earth Pro. This is really handy because I can access historic satellite imagery. For example, this upper image is from 2018. It's a stretch of the Missouri River just south of Omaha and just north of the Sac and Fox Reservation. The lower image is the same stretch of the river during an extreme flood event in 2019. I can take that imagery in Google Earth Pro, I can add my brownfield sites, I can draw points, lines, and polygons, and customize that map. So the time slider is a really handy tool. I can also use Google Earth Pro when I'm working with cultural knowledge holders. For example, this is a workshop that we did for a community where we projected Google Earth Pro on the screen and had community members come up and point to places and then describe why those places were important to them. We transcribed what they were saying, embedded it in the map icons, and created a very rich map of culturally significant sites. This is an example from, again, from Mark's work where he put cultural data and environmental data on the same Google Earth Pro map. One really interesting and powerful things that you can do with Google Earth Pro is to create tours. And you can use tours to tell a story. You can use tours to take people through the map in certain ways. For example, this is, again, map layers from Mark Junker's work. This shows the different homelands of the Sac and Fox people over time. And as you can see, I'm moving through the map in a specific way. If you do a screenshot movie and upload it to YouTube, you can share your tour publicly and with your community. So I'd like to invite all of you to use these tools. They're all on the website. We'd be more than happy to help any of you who would like to make maps. Thank you.